do. Hello and welcome to Gender Forking.
A life and death podcast.
Plus more, because today is just a Q&A.
Yeah.
I'm Lori.
I'm Sam.
We're back together.
Yeah.
We're dating again.
Wow. Lori gave me a Christmas present yesterday and it was an engagement ring.
Sam gave me a Christmas present yesterday and it's a matching t-shirt and we're wearing them right now.
Yeah, well, the engagement rings were also matching, so.
They're like round flat rings with multiple like little stones in them. They look like Bella's engagement ring, but not as like rounded.
Not as obnoxious.
Yeah, not as obnoxious. And so we'll be wearing those until we die.
Yeah, I actually don't have mine on right now, so.
It's fake of you.
Sorry. Yeah, we are recording some bonus content for season 1 of Gender Forking. Very unstructured. Yeah. We'll just sort of... we collected some questions from our fans that are really a mixed bag. And, yeah, I have some questions for you also.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I can come up with some.
Yeah. You said you were going to. Wow.
I work best
on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe we should just answer our most common question, which is like, what's next?
Let's put that off. Let's answer that later.
Oh, like clickbait?
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to know what happens next for Gender Forking, you'll just have to listen to this whole Q&A.
This whole thing, and then hopefully we won't forget to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm sure we won't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Should we do the Forks cast?
Yeah, so the weather right now in Forks, it is 51 degrees, and there's a 100% chance of rain for the next 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
It's only slightly warmer than it is here.
Yes, whereas it's unseasonably warm here, but we're getting snow on Friday. Mm-hmm. Again.
Oh, what day is today?
Saturday.
Okay, so in 6 days.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
What day is that going to be?
Friday.
Well, yeah, January 4th.
Okay, great.
Today is December 29th. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
I would just like to say thank you to everyone who has listened to this podcast, because we thought no one would listen to it, and hundreds of people listen to it, which is fun.
It's really cool. I feel like we always get surprised by people that we know in our real lives.
Yeah.
They're like, we listen to your podcast. Yeah. And we're like, oh, great.
Wow. Great. It's so niche that I'm glad that anyone can resonate with it in, like, literally any way.
Yeah, yeah. Cry every time someone says something nice about it, so...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. We did a survey to get some feedback from some of our listeners, and, like, something that really surprised me, I guess. It shouldn't surprise me, but it surprised me that people said that we were really funny.
It's like, I think we're funny,
yeah.
but...
Which is, like, the point of doing this.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that other people agree, it's like, wow. I'm
Thanks.
so validated. It's like, let's drop out of school and become stand-up comedians.
Looking to do anything but grad school right now,
yeah.
So if anybody has any prospects.
Stand-up comedian.
Also, we're looking into Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Like, both romantically and, like, professionally.
Like, and socially.
Yeah, because we're based out of Maine, so...
And so is she.
Is she? So, that's our...
And... Anna Kendrick, where are you?
We love her.
Yeah, she was just in Maine for the holidays. We just really want her to come talk to us about Twilight.
Yeah.
At some point in the future, when we are also both in Maine.
So we're putting that out into the universe.
Yeah. Speak it into existence. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends Anna Kendrick will be on our podcast.
Yes. Get ready. Yeah.
Feels irresponsible to make that claim, but it worked for the McElroy brothers.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. She's like 2 towns over from us right now.
Yeah, amazing.
We could just drive around and probably see her on the side of the road.
Absolutely right.
That's how Maine works.
Yeah, it really is. Should we jump into questions?
Yeah, I have some questions for you.
Oh my god. If
Not
any of
many.
These are wedding themed.
No, they're not.
I'm leaving.
Where are they? Okay, question number 1.
Okay.
How are you?
I hate this. I'm doing really great. I'm great.
Just wanted to wait to ask you until we were recording.
We haven't talked for the last 2 days. We've just been silently sitting in the same space as each other, waiting to record so we don't, like, lose any of our good content.
Yeah, we haven't said anything, but we have listened to the Twilight soundtrack 4 times already.
Yeah, we have.
Just yesterday alone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thriving.
Yeah.
I'm living the dream in California.
Yeah, California living.
I don't like California, but I do like grad school. Mm-hmm. And I work with a couple of people that like Twilight. So that's fun.
Exhilarating.
Yeah.
Lori just got A's in 2 of her classes, so she's a superstar.
Sam is working on papers for her classes, and it's
working,
like
quote unquote,
wading through treacle.
Wading through treacle. Brighton. My favorite thing about Brighton is that the weather is really similar to Forks. It's like kind of warmer than it is here, and it's pretty rainy. So that's fun. It doesn't look like Forks, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I kind of am in the mindset, like, I'm Bella pre-Forks. Like, I'm Bella in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
Waiting to move back to Maine, which is
Forks.
Right here. Yeah. We're recording from my parents' new house. My parents have moved since we last recorded the podcast in May. Just like a couple towns over, and now they live in a beautiful log home in the woods in Maine. So we're like surrounded by trees right now. We're like looking out at the trees and like a pond and stuff. It's very Twilight appropriate.
It is. I feel like if the Cullens were more like woodsy and less like modern, this is what their house would look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with like the windows and everything too.
Yeah,
There's
the windows.
Lots of windows in here. Very light.
Secluded.
We should take Twilight and do nothing else to change it except make it set in Maine. So literally everything is the same except for Port Angeles is Portland.
Yeah. And Forks is...
And Forks is like...
I don't know.
We have Forks. West Forks, Maine.
Oh, yeah,
we have
true.
Forks.
There's really not much going on there. So I guess that's
perfect.
Works fine. Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, one of the smaller coastal towns.
Yeah, and Seattle is like Boston.
Yeah. That'd be so unnecessary, but so is life and death.
True. It also wouldn't work out because it's like significantly sunnier here than it is in the Pacific Northwest.
That's true.
But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I have another question for you.
Oh, great.
Which is, since we last recorded / saw each other / I don't know, whatever, Twilight celebrated its 10th anniversary, and you went to the 10th anniversary screening.
I feel like I'm being interviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I went to the 10th anniversary screening
what was that
of
like?
Twilight. It was exhilarating. I went early because I wanted to, like, get a seat, which was hilarious of me to think that it would fill up, because it did not. And yeah, I'm based out of San Diego, so like I thought that being in a big city meant that like things would be busy for Twilight, I guess, but they were not. And so I got in there and I was literally the first person in the theater, and they hadn't even started like the pre-screening like features
content,
or anything like that. Then people started coming in, and what I noticed about everyone that was coming in is they were like Twilight super fans.
Okay, so like they were like you.
Yeah. And like maybe they don't have a podcast or a blog, but a lot of them were like older women who I imagine were like Twi moms.
That's exhilarating.
And then some like younger people, but I think the youngest people were in their like early to mid 20s. Okay. It wasn't like teenagers or anything like that. There were like probably like 15 people total, I guess. Yeah. Which I was sad because I would like for this to happen for New Moon Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, but I just don't think that that's realistic.
Yeah. But I mean, like the first one was the best. Yeah. Anyway, and like is the one that deserves all the recognition.
Yeah. And so there was a movie like trivia thing that they did up on the screen, and all the questions were like they were pretty easy, but everyone started yelling them out, and everyone was getting them right, which was good, and I was like, oh wow, I feel safe. But some of the questions were like, what color's Bella's truck? And like the answers were like red, orange, and like blue, and somebody like behind me was like, it's orange, and I was like, it's red. The showtime, I believe, was like 2 p.m. or something like that. Mm-hmm. And at 2 p.m. they stopped the trivia and were about to start like the bonus content that Catherine Hardwicke and Jackson Rathbone recorded in St. Helens, Washington, and Oregon? Oregon. Yeah. And Forks, and they like lagged a little bit in starting that, and everyone was like looking around like, why the fuck is the movie not starting right now? And I knew that there was gonna be that bonus content because on Tumblr I had seen like a little snippet from it already, and I was like, it's okay, there's like a lot of really good bonus content before the movie that they're probably just starting to play. And they started like a countdown to the movie for like 30 minutes or something like that, and everyone was like, what the fuck? But also, a woman in front of me had complained to the manager of the theater because we were all supposed to get posters. Oh my god, I loved your poster in San Diego.
Oh yeah, you got me a poster.
I did.
Wow.
I'll bring it.
I'll get it a different time.
Yeah. So everybody that got a ticket to see Twilight was supposed to be given like the 10th anniversary poster, like the really pretty like
the
light green watercolor like Edward and Bella. Basically, it looked like a painting. And they didn't know where they were when we were all walking in, and so they promised that they would find them, and a theater employee came in with like literally 3 posters because I think they thought that there would just be like a couple people in there, and then when they saw like that there were like 15 or so of us and we were all like literally ready to pounce on them, they were like, okay, I'll get more.
The Twi moms are organizing.
Yeah. And then watch the bonus content, which can be found online now.
Yeah, it's
really good. I didn't know that a lot of the filming locations are like on the property of this inn.
Yeah.
A lot of like the forest and woods scenes that weren't shot in like the national park were shot on the grounds of this inn that has markers at like famous scenes, like the Lion and the Lamb scene and the like as if you could outrun me like thing from the first movie, and that was really cool, and that just makes me want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Like really bad.
Yeah. I had the same experience that I did the first time I watched Twilight in the movie theaters, where this is really small, but when Bella is in the hospital in the very end and opens her eyes and Renee's face is like right up there against her, like it's just so huge, and I thought that was so funny because I remember thinking the same thing when I was a child.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's great.
How was not watching it in England?
Sad.
Yeah.
Mostly. Except for the fact that Netflix UK has all the Twilight movies, which is amazing. So I've watched the first 3 in the last 3 months, but not the Breaking Down ones because of like obvious reasons. But
I have a question. Yeah. How do you feel about Stephenie Meyer announcing that she's worked on Midnight Sun?
Oh my god, do I believe it? No. I don't, well, what she said was that, like, she brought it up to the meadow scene, and, like, isn't that where it was already?
She wrote the meadow scene for her mother-in-law?
Or her mom?
Or mom?
And she hadn't done that before.
And she hadn't done it.
Okay.
Because we were robbed of the meadow scene in Breaking Dawn, which is homophobic.
Yeah. In Breaking Dawn?
I mean...
In Midnight Sun.
Midnight Sun.
Okay.
Midnight Sun.
Yeah. I don't, like, obviously really want to read the full text of Midnight Sun. I don't think that she's gonna do it. I don't know.
I kind of think she might.
She might.
I feel like
she knows everyone hates her.
Yeah.
Or, like, she knows how, like, she's just received so much hate that, like, she doesn't want to work on
Subject
it. And like I don't
herself,
blame
yeah.
her because like her like draft got leaked. So
Yeah, that sucked.
yeah. But oh my god, I want to read that Meadow scene so bad.
I just want to read it.
Yeah.
I want to read all of it. But I think I'm coming to terms with the fact that might never happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I believe that she's looked at it and like worked on it lightly, but
I'm sure she like knows what happens. I mean, the other part of that news was that she has mapped out a 3-part story of Jacob and Renesmee.
I hate that.
Which is like, please don't write it.
And then she
then
said
I'll have
that
to
the
read it.
manuscripts or whatever, the maps got lost.
Oh yeah.
And like I'd like to thank whoever did that.
Whoever lost.
If you're listening and you did that,
yeah, I love you.
I'll take you out to dinner.
Yeah. I could go on forever about Jacob and Renesmee. But like,
I know you can.
Like, this is a happy podcast.
Yeah.
This is a fun Q&A bonus episode. I don't have any more questions for you.
Okay, great.
Hey, Laurie.
Hey, Sam.
Guess what?
What?
I feel an ad coming on.
You feel
An
an
ad.
ad coming on?
It's an ad.
It's an ad.
We're trying to make money?
Really great news. We now have a code for Audible.
Yeah. So if you want to support this podcast without...
Please support this podcast.
Yes, please support it. And this is a really great way that you can support it because you don't actually have to pay any money. You just have to sign up for a free trial with Audible, which is what is it?
It's a website where you can listen to audiobooks.
Yeah, it's through Amazon.
They have so many.
You go to audibletrial.com/genderforking and you sign up for a free trial.
Yeah, if you're into the Twilight series, and I don't know why the hell you'd be listening to us if you weren't, you should check out maybe their recordings of Twilight, because you can just listen to somebody redo Twilight. And they also have Life and Death, so if you have been putting off listening to our podcast, you're probably not listening.
That's a really good point.
But like, if you haven't engaged with Life and Death and you've like heard what we've had to say about it and you're like, that's not worth my reading time, you can probably listen to it through Audible, and that'd be really fun.
Yeah, because you could do it in the car, or if you're just done listening to our podcast and you want something else to listen to, you can listen to Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse,
many other books,
Breaking Dawn.
A recommendation that I have that I sure damn hope is on their website is A Discovery of Witches. It's the latest supernatural series I've been reading. If you're into vampires, there's vampires. If you're into witches, there's demons. I think there might be werewolves. Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
William Shakespeare's kind of a character, so that's fun.
Yeah. So go to audibletrial.com/genderforking, sign up for a free trial.
30-day trial.
Yeah, 30 days. You get to listen. That includes like, I wish I knew the facts, but it doesn't really matter. Just do it.
Just please do it.
You get at least one free audiobook doing that.
Yeah, and you help us out, and that helps offset some of like the cost of us.
Our hosting site, which helps us get our podcasts on places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so that you can listen to it easily.
It also compensates Sam for some of the time that she spends editing our podcast, which is really great.
Yeah, it might eventually help us get some really cool recording equipment. So.
Yeah, we'd love to be able to grow our brand, our empire, if you will.
Our umpire.
Baseball. Yeah, so if you can help us out by signing up for a free trial of Audible, that would be great.
Yeah.
Looking at you, friends.
Yep, audibletrial.com/genderforking. It's lit. That's their official slogan, according to me.
Okay. So these questions, should we start from like the first one that we got in?
Yeah, let's just like go through.
Okay. They get
progressively horrible.
like more and more explicit. So as soon as we start talking about like the more, let's give you a little warning before they devolve into just like sex specifically.
Which like I'm not gonna answer.
Right, like I'll read them and I'll be like, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
Even though I asked. But
coming up, we're gonna be judgmental.
Yeah. Okay. So
this first one is just one that has been in our ask box for like a month, and like neither of us have answered because it's about headcanons, and like I don't come up with headcanons.
I don't either. I think the only headcanon that I have ever come up with is that Charlie's a park ranger.
Yeah. And
that's like not something that I've thought through because I don't think I'm not creative, but like
I'm not creative.
I
I'm just an internet personality.
I think I'm creative and I could think about headcanons.
Yeah.
The question is, do you have any headcanons about how the gender swap Cullens backstories?
Just
about their
backstories.
I'm super intrigued by Eleanor and Jessamine specifically, and this was asked by an anonymous person.
Yeah.
And
I think my only I think if I have a headcanon about Jessamine is that she's like not like Jasper and like is like maybe like black or something and like not in a terrible like war situation.
Yeah.
But like I don't even...
Or, like, fought for Texan independence.
Yeah.
Or, like...
Yeah.
Literally
maybe she's
anything.
Mexican.
Yeah. Literally anything other than fighting for the Confederate Army.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's it. I don't really have any about Eleanor, though. But again, I'm just not creative.
My headcanon for Eleanor is that, like, there's two types of... people don't lean into Emmett's Appalachian roots the way that they really lean into Jasper Southern roots and even Alice's. Sometimes my headcanon for Eleanor is that she is still
a redneck.
Yeah, basically, just like she is still like
it's very like true bloody
someone that lives in the Appalachian Mountains, like, and if you've been there you know exactly what I mean, but like, I think that would be super cool because I don't think that people from Appalachia, not that this is great representation, but I don't think that people from Appalachia get representation in, like...
We need a Disney princess.
We need a Disney princess from the Appalachian Mountains. No, but I don't think that they get good representation, like, in any way.
Yeah.
And, like, in any nuanced way. It's always just, like, people sitting on the porch with banjos and then, like, getting mauled by bears. Or something.
Which is, like, exactly.
But, like...
Yeah.
I hate that. And it's, like, also... It's really distinct from Southern culture, but also, like, not.
She's a moonshine queen.
Yeah, moonshine, and, like...
She drinks it even as a vampire.
Yeah. Distills moonshine.
Yeah. She's like
That's
an
my
Appalachian vigilante.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, that wasn't even, like, asked to us recently, so, like, that Anon is never going to hear their answer unless they listen to this podcast.
Right.
Which is, like, their own fault, so.
You're right.
This one is, what were your favorite or least favorite changes made for Life and Death, and what do you think was Smyre's most egregious no-homo moment?
I think my least favorite change was...
The ending?
Yeah, I was thinking of everyone's backstories.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I've kind of blocked out the ending.
Yeah, when I listened back to the podcast, there was so much stuff that I forgot happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. I hate that they get engaged in the tree at the end at the funeral.
Yeah. I hate
that.
the funeral.
Yeah.
I hate Ernest's backstory being changed.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
And I hate Royal's backstory, and I hate
so much about
just
everything.
Like, literally everything.
Yeah.
I like that my least favorite changes are that, and then I'm still bothered by the fact that they didn't gender swap Charlie and Renee.
Yeah, that's weird. And Phil.
Oh,
and then the Volturi stuff. There's just plot wise, I hate everything about it. But I guess what I do like are like the little fun additions between Bo and Edith.
Yes. I love I think the best change is the honest and frank conversation that they have about sex.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like... I love that.
I like when they go to Bo Italia, the restaurant, and Bo wears Edith's scarf and doesn't know how to put it on.
Yeah. I love that. Oh my gosh. I love Edith's wardrobe.
Yeah. She wears a lavender sweater in one scene of the book, and I recently bought a lavender sweater because of that.
Yeah.
I saw Edith Cullen wearing a lavender sweater, so I bought a lavender sweater.
Yeah, I think that's what I like the most, is just those little, like, Bo and Edith things.
Yeah.
But I hate the way that so many people's backstories changed.
Yeah,
I hate that Bo got like almost murdered instead of like assaulted.
Yeah, that was weird.
That felt weird.
I don't like the assumption that Smire made that the Volturi change would like change anything.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that.
Right.
The other part of the question is about Smire's most egregious no homo moment.
Oh, the scarf, for sure.
The scarf, yeah.
It's when Edith is like, here, you look cold, take my scarf, in the restaurant Bo Italia. And then is immediately like, oh, but don't worry, it's Archie's,
it's
so
not a lady scarf.
It's a man's scarf, not a lady scarf. I'm like, oh my god. I think that's a huge no homo moment.
There's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole book.
Yeah. Also the fact that if this was to continue, like, Sue Clearwater...
Yeah,
and
that doesn't make sense.
Charlie would be getting together, but Sue Clearwater as a man?
I forget. I forget so many gender swap
I don't know
names.
if we even learned Sue Clearwater's name. I think we just got Harry Clearwater, but I don't even remember that, honestly.
Yeah, Holly.
Yeah. Yeah. But...
Yeah, plot holes.
Like, the fact that wasn't brought up, like, please, like, give me something.
Yeah.
If you guys were Stephenie Meyer and wanted to prove the whole Twilight isn't sexist point she was trying to prove with Life and Death, how would you go about doing it? And then this person adds, we know that Twilight is sexist, but for, like, the sake of this hypothetical situation, pretend that's a thing you could potentially disprove.
Okay. So, like, if we were her, how would we... Okay, so I wouldn't write Life and Death.
Yeah.
I think that she could have just done, like, make Bella the vampire.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, like, I don't know, defend Bella.
Yeah.
In a way that isn't, like, she's not the damsel in distress, but in a way that's, like...
Bella does not deserve a lot of the criticism that she was given over the last 10 years. I think a lot of like hate for Twilight that is like misogynist in nature is directed. It's like applied to Bella and Kristen Stewart, also, and it's not warranted.
Yeah.
Because like, if your argument that Twilight is sexist because Bella is like too boring for you, then it's like sounds like a personal problem, bro.
I think like if I were to tackle the issue of Twilight being sexist. If I was trying to disprove that,
yeah.
I would, I feel like the first thing you have to do is acknowledge, like, things that you did wrong.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't seem to be
no
interested in doing, which is okay.
Yeah.
But,
and there's also just, like, so much more to Twilight that maybe could be... uncovered that is problematic that has nothing to do with gender.
Yeah, like the Quileute tribe, like
yeah.
she should have never fucked with that.
The
to be
racism
honest.
and classism that like strongly comes through in a lot of the books. So yeah, that doesn't get as much attention outside of like the Tumblr fandom, I think.
Yeah, I'm much more bothered by that stuff than I've ever been bothered by like sexism in Twilight.
Yeah, or like perceptions of like unhealthy relationships in Twilight.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the stuff that bothers me most about sexism, if you want to call it that, in Twilight, I think the thing that bothers me the most is Breaking Dawn, like the choice rhetoric.
Yes.
And like,
yes,
not even so much like the book, but the movie, and then people talking about it.
Yeah,
and just, like,
the way that you kind of have to, like, participate in the dialogue.
Yeah.
Is the way she sets it up.
Yeah. People talk about it, like, there's been some really fun hot takes going around about people that are just, like, talking about it like, well, this was Bella's choice.
Yeah.
And, like...
It's also, like, it was written this way, so...
Yeah.
It's deeper than that. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's, like, hold Stephenie Meyer accountable challenge.
I wouldn't have... if I were to... try to prove that Twilight wasn't sexist, I would rewrite it and not have Renesmee in it.
Yeah. I would change a lot of things.
I would change so many things.
I would, like, get rid of the love triangle. But yeah. This is a big question. Let's see. I like this. This seems kind of a little bit more of a commentary.
Mm-hmm.
So, Smire seems to have backed herself into a corner with some of the extreme sexual dimorphism in Twilight in parentheses, Alice is 4'11", while Jacob is 6'7". Okay, Stephanie. Why do you think certain physical characteristics did, like Royal's hair, and didn't, like Beau's height, stay the same from Twilight to Life and Death? On a related note, if Stephanie Meyer had continued writing gender-forked versions, I like that, of later books, do you think she would have allowed Julie Black and her werewolf sisters to grow super tall and buff? That's from an anonymous person.
Yeah.
Oh, the first question was from Valtteri Alice, also.
Second question. Well.
Oh. The one
yeah.
about our favorite and least favorite changes.
So thank you, Valtteri Alice.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a great question.
Yeah. Why do you think certain physical characteristics didn't stay the same? Well,
I think things like height, I think that Stephanie changed, like, Beau's height and stuff like that because, I don't know, just, like, height and, like, body composition are things that are really difficult, if not impossible, to change.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, hair is something that changes, I mean, obviously not for a vampire, but, like, can change and range so drastically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing about Beau's height came up, like, over and over.
Yeah.
And felt like a lot like it was like a masculinity plug.
Yeah.
Like trying to make Beau seem more masculine while also not being like the physically strong one in the relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, Archie stays small.
Mm-hmm. Archie stays small, but I kind of feel like Bella's an average height, right?
I mean, it's like never
It's
discussed.
never talked about, but I feel like she's not as small as Alice, but she's not obviously not as tall as any of them.
And Edward is supposed to be lanky.
Yeah.
So, wow, it's a good time.
Yeah. I just feel like Beau shouldn't have been tall if Bella wasn't tall.
Yeah, it's... I mean, also, like, the blue eyes, brown eyes thing.
Yeah, that's really unnecessary.
Yeah. I guess I understand some physical changes, like if they were just sort of like kind of offhand ways for her to describe the way that these characters now looked, but the height thing like kept coming up again and again, and Royal's hair staying was interesting because I felt like that was her trying to reflect on how Rosalie's hair was like really important to her, and like she was beautiful, but like men are beautiful in sometimes different ways.
Yeah.
And it didn't... we already talked about this, I think, in the podcast, but it doesn't necessarily make sense for Royal's hair to be that long, like, because of the time period that he's from.
No, it doesn't make sense.
So, like, that was interesting.
Yeah.
And also, do we think that she would have allowed Julie Black and her werewolf sisters to grow super tall and buff?
No, I think that she would have kept them shorter.
Yeah.
But made them buff.
Yeah.
Like, I think that she would have been, like...
Like, lean and toned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those are the words that she would literally use. But I don't know. Maybe
Some of them would be tall.
How tall's Leah? I don't know. She seems taller to me than most women in Twilight.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just the actress, who I love, but...
I don't remember from Life and Death how tall Sam and Quill are.
Yeah.
I think we get the impression that they're, like, strong looking.
Yeah.
Like, short hair. Or at least Sam has short hair.
I know that Jacob undergoes, like, a large height
Yes.
Like, height change during his transformation, but I don't know I don't know. I mean, I try not to be surprised by anything that Stephanie Meyer does anymore, because it's just, like, everything's from left field at this point, so... Mm-hmm. Who's to say?
I wish that they would be super tall and buff. I wish.
Yeah. I love this next question.
Okay.
Which is there any deleted bonus content you cut from the episodes? Sam probably knows more than I do because she actually edited everything.
Yeah.
But I do vividly remember that once she left where we were recording to go upstairs and do something, and something really great about Sam is that she's gonna cut this out, but she used to have a YouTube channel where, I'm not gonna say the name of it so you can't cut this out, but she used to have a YouTube channel where she did music, and she hates so much when people listen to it that she knows, or like she has to listen to it, or when I talk about it or acknowledge it in any way, even though she told me about it. So
I don't care that you listen to it.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to it.
So I have all of her music downloaded on my phone from Bandcamp, and when she left the room during recording, I played part of one of the songs next to the microphone so that when she went back to edit, she would hear that. And I feel like I also probably said some really funny stuff about Alex that you cut out.
Yeah. Well, sometimes things would come up that, like, were funny to us, but were, like, so irrelevant to Twilight, and then, like, any, like, it would take so much explaining to, like, keep in the
to
podcast
get there,
that I was just like, this has to go, but it's funny.
We had to cut out, I imagine you probably had to cut out a lot of us pausing and waiting for Alex to stop sneezing in the background when he was sick.
Yeah. There was some fun stuff. I edited it in GarageBand, and so, like, I don't have, like, access to, like, any of that stuff, really. It's just kind of, like, gone, which I will change in the future, because doing that made me lose 2 of the original episodes.
That's right.
So, like, I would say that my goals going forward for this podcast would be to not do that.
Yeah.
To, like, not fuck up and lose the episode.
Yeah. I think that we're going to try to do a couple of bonus episodes during this time that I'm here in Maine. Mm-hmm. So while that's not, like, bloopers or anything like that, we'll have some really fun bonus content coming your way.
Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled.
And that was also anonymous.
Yes.
So thank you.
And then there's another anonymous one. Most of them are anonymous.
Yeah.
Because it's Tumblr. What inspired you to start the podcast? Wow. Wait, there's a lot of questions in this one. What inspired you to start the podcast? What were the best and worst, if any, parts of it? Whether it be technical difficulties, lol. Coming up with commentary,
oh no, I always have something to say.
Yeah. Love the podcast so much. I only have an episode and a half until I'm done. I'm so sad. Gender Forking has been one of the best podcasts I've listened to.
Thank
Aww,
you.
Love you. Wow, what inspired us to start the podcast?
So, something about Sam and I is that we don't have a lot of great ideas, but when we have any ideas for anything, ever, and I don't think that we do this individually, but I think we only do it when we're together. Yeah. We just fucking do it.
Yeah, we do it.
Like, we were sitting at work one day, and, Sam was like, let's get matching tattoos. And I was like, okay, and 2 days later, we had matching tattoos.
Yeah.
And then one of our friends suggested that we do a Twilight radio show at our college.
Yeah.
Sophie, thank you. And that never happened, but it got us thinking about, like,
other mediums to talk about it.
And I think we were just looking for purpose in post-grad life and love Twilight.
Yeah,
and,
so we started our blog to sort of kind of build up our following so that we could launch to something.
Yep.
And we just kind of wanted an avenue to talk about Twilight. We didn't initially start with the idea to do Life and Death for the podcast. We weren't sure what the podcast was going to be, but we wanted it to be something a little bit different from what other Twilight podcasts were doing.
Yeah.
And we were in a bookstore one day and decided to buy Life and Death, and, like, read the first 2 pages in the car, and we were like, this is the podcast.
Yeah, no, we literally read, it wasn't even the book, it was
but, like, the forward
that Stephanie, I was reading it out loud to Sam while she was driving, and
it was like, we have to
I was like, this is it.
Together, like, for the first time. Yeah. Which I'm glad that we did, even though it's, like, niche and, like, has kept people from listening.
People are like, I'm not gonna read Life and Death. Yeah. I'm like, respect.
Or some yeah, same. Wish I could say the same. But people have said that, like, they've put off listening because they want to read it.
Yeah.
Before they or while they listen, which is fair. But in the future, if we like to do like Twilight and New Moon and all the other books, I think that will have, like, a more accessible reach.
What are the best and worst parts of it? I don't know, like, it was just really fun the whole time.
Yeah, it's super fun.
I did the fun part. I just showed up and talked and, like, read the book. Sam did the editing.
I had the technical difficulties, which I just spoke about.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll not make those mistakes again. It was probably different for us listening to it because obviously I edited it, so by the time they came out, I was, like, extremely familiar with the episodes and everything that was in them, and whereas, like, you hadn't heard them in months.
I hadn't heard them in months. It was really cool. I was actually, like, I used to sit in the morning, like, before work and listen to them. Mm-hmm. It was cool.
Yeah. I really enjoyed listening to them every week. I would, like, just like not do anything and like just listen to them straight through, even though I knew.
Yeah, I kind of thought I was gonna hate it because I like thought that I would hate listening to myself talk, but I actually
no, it's fine.
I like it. I don't care,
and it's fun. It's funny. It's like if it's funny for people listening at home, it's like even funnier for us.
Yeah, it's like maybe that's character growth for me.
Yeah, true.
I don't hate listening to myself speak.
True. Yeah, which is like how I feel about my YouTube channel.
Yeah. And then, no, it wasn't difficult coming up with commentary or anything like that. We had, like...
That's, like, why we have the podcast, because there's so
much to say. I feel like our friends listened to us talk about Twilight for so many hours in 2018 that, like, they were like, thank God they're getting a podcast. They'll just get it all out there. But we didn't. We still talk about it all the time.
Talk about it all the time. Yeah, I'm also sad that the season is done.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to, like, change the title of the podcast so it's not called a Life and Death podcast anymore.
But, like, a Twilight Saga podcast.
Yeah, we'll, like, rebrand later. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
So, next question, also from Anonymous, is... This isn't necessarily for the podcast Q&A. Yes, it is. But I remember someone mentioning a paper about gender bending. I don't remember when or where, but one of you was saying that the paper said there was essentially no point in gender bending if there's no conflict with it. Like... gender bending a trans character or something along those lines. Where could I find it?
Do you remember this? Was this us?
I think we're talking about gender fucking or fucking gender.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the paper that we named.
Yeah.
The podcast after, which is gender fucking or fucking gender.
I think the concept that there's no point to gender bending if there's no conflict in it is like us.
Yeah.
Like that's our personal, correct opinion. That's something that like I don't think we should have talked about more, but, like, it's hard because I feel like every episode I would just have to say, like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like
over and
the
over
concept of this is stupid. Like, these characters should... Like, if you're trying to do something subversive about gender, making every character cis is not it.
It's
like,
true.
That is not it.
It's like women's empowerment being fake. Like... like it's not
it's like neoliberal gender
like
gender discourse
like absolutely. I'm trying to think of like an example, like another example of gender swapping, quote unquote, but I feel like it happens in other media where like I don't know, like I don't think anyone's made James Bond a woman, but like if you make James Bond a woman, it's like, oh my god, it's so empowering for women, right? Like, it's so much fun.
The Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters,
Doctor Who,
yeah,
which is different because
that is a little different, but
whatever. But
Ghostbusters,
Ghostbusters or like Pippin.
That's niche.
But I think of
I think a good example is of like where I like gender bending because there's no like conflict, and I think it makes it more interesting, is in Jessica Jones. Jerry Hogarth was originally a man.
Oh.
In the comic books, Jerry Hogarth is a man. And now it's a woman, and it's not supposed to be like, oh, it's like powerful. It's just like, this is more interesting, and now there's a lesbian in the show.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like I used to see a lot of people doing like dream casting a gender bent movie or something like that.
Yeah. It's certainly interesting, and there's like nothing, I don't know, people, I think it can be done with political effect and like have it be meaningful, but it's not inherently meaningful. Yeah,
and it's like there's so many opportunities in that to do more interesting things, like create queer relationships or trans people. Yeah. Like,
which is even more helpful and like subversive and interesting.
I was reading this post and I wish I knew who said it, but I don't. But somebody was like talking about how Charles, Esme's husband, got drafted into the war, and wouldn't Ernest also be like drafted if like they were around at the same time? And then someone was like, Ernest is trans, and then a headcanon that Ernest is trans, and then like therefore could not be drafted. I love that. That's interesting. That's subversive. Carlisle doing gender affirming surgery on Ernest, Kareen, I guess, I don't know, whatever, whoever like is interesting. Being a doctor that helps trans vampires, fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, those are cool things that you could throw in here, but, like, didn't.
I mean, I guess the fact that the whole point of Life and Death was for Stephenie Meyer to say it's not sexist, it's not different, like, that's not interesting because you're not taking any stance except to say that, like, we don't need feminism. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're like, y'all are wrong.
Yeah. That's just not helpful. I don't know.
But the paper...
That paper is
called Gender Fucking or Fucking Gender.
By Stephen Whittle.
It's by Stephen Whittle.
It's a classic piece of queer theory. It's not necessarily, like, a great piece. It's, like, definitely outdated. Yes. But it is kind of foundational to the field of queer theory, and it's definitely an interesting read. Don't take it... Like, take it with a grain of salt if you are going to read it.
Yeah. Take most things with a grain of salt.
Yes. Especially because the meaning of queer has adapted a lot since then. There's like a lot of spicy takes in there. I'll pop over to the Twitter actually and get those. We'll do those and then we'll go back to the
I have a question from Twitter. It's from Barry.
Okay.
And it's, will you do a cover of Decode by Paramore?
You mean that was a question that he asked us last night?
That was a question that he asked on our Twitter
okay, true.
Months ago.
Will I do a cover of Decode by Paramore? No.
Second question from Barry. Please?
Is it Barry in quotation marks when it's just you?
No. I feel like Barry will listen to this and, like, appreciate that I added second question, please.
I appreciate that question, and also I refuse it.
Okay.
But I love that song, and it deserves attention always. I heard it, like, 5 times yesterday.
Yeah. It's real good.
And a couple times today. So on Twitter, my high school friend Aaron asked a question. Aaron listens to the podcast. He said...
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, he said, what's next for the podcast? Are you going to keep it strictly Twilight related, or will you ever do analysis of other media? That's a really good question. We definitely want to do a lot of Twilight related content.
Yeah. I feel like if we started to branch out into non-Twilight related content, we would probably start a separate podcast.
Yes. We have talked about other... similar media like Carmilla is potentially of interest to us, but there's so much Twilight content to be attacked.
Yeah.
First,
like, Carmilla. Yeah. I've started something that I've done since we last were recording is I started watching the Vampire Diaries, and that's full of shit. No, like, good shit. It's full of good shit.
Good shit.
And then I've also started reading A Discovery of Witches, which I think is called, like, the All Souls trilogy or something, by Deborah Harkness, and that has vampires in it that are, like... You can't tell me that Matthew Claremont and Edward Cullen are different people. So I'd be interested in doing all kinds of stuff around all of that, but
all vampire stuff
we're focused on Twilight.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to, like, bring in other vampire analyses because, but I mean, with what you've told me about this book that you're reading, like, it's just so clearly emulating Twilight, and I think a lot of vampire media does because Twilight really made vampires popular. Especially in, like, young adult fiction at the time.
Yeah, it made vampires like a romantic like, genre almost.
Yeah.
Like, part of that, because I feel like Dracula...
In a non-horror way.
Yeah.
And, like, not like Dracula and not like Vampire Lestat.
And not even really like Carmilla the novella.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of adapted to be the explicit queer romance that it is.
Yeah.
In the web series.
And I love that.
Yeah. If you haven't watched Carmilla, you absolutely should.
Yeah.
It's a web series. And there's vampires and
they do
all the characters are queer women, which
they
is
do
really
gender
cool.
really well.
Yeah, they do gender in the best way possible.
Yep.
So yeah, that's next for the podcast. I mean, we're gonna do a couple of bonus things while Lori is here and while I'm here also, and we want to do like more full seasons in the future. We don't know when that will be able to happen because we're both in grad school and like Lori's in California and I'm in England.
Yeah,
an 8-hour
the time difference is really stressful.
Yeah, we can't even, like, keep up a snap streak because the time difference is so hard.
Since we've been home, we've been doing amazing, but
yeah.
Yeah,
so it might be a little while, but there definitely will be more content, like, around this winter and then later in 2019.
Yeah,
so
maybe this summer when we're, like,
I'm writing my dissertation this summer.
LOL, just kidding. I'll be doing a solo podcast over the summer called
but also
something
like
else.
In the same way that we're speaking Anna Kendrick into the universe, I would like to speak into the universe our future advice podcast.
Yeah. We're really good at giving advice.
Yeah, we're so humble.
No, we are.
Yeah, don't you want advice from us? We have so much to say about your personal life.
If you want us to do an advice show.
Yeah, or like a relationship.
Or like a blog or a column or anything like that. Ask us your personal questions. I feel very qualified to answer them.
We like are sort of known amongst each other and like amongst our friend group as like powerful, not even like you're the matchmaker and I'm like the person who inspires breakups. So like together the energy is really unstoppable, and like
sometimes we have to collaborate and decide if we want people to be together or not.
Yeah, it's honestly dangerous, but like in a good way, and you really want that in your life, and we're trying to capitalize off of it. So
if you have like relationship, friendship, familial like questions,
just let us know. And like
send them our way.
We should like start a new Tumblr.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll see. Let us know what you want. Actually, this is what you want.
Yeah.
Let us tell you what you want.
Yeah.
Also on the Twitter, our friend Ashley asked us, how do you think Stephanie Meyer would react to your critiques/criticisms of Life and Death? Also, when can I expect season 2?
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
How do I think she would respond? She seems really awkward.
Yeah, she seems really like she's not living in the world.
Yeah, but in a different way than Catherine Hardwicke seems like she's awkward and doesn't live in the world.
Yeah.
Like in the complete opposite way.
What is Stephanie Meyer's sign?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I feel like we did this.
Maybe she's a Capricorn.
I think her birthday's like December 25th.
Oh my god. Stephanie Meyer birthday. Birth chart is one of the options.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. She is a Capricorn. Oh god,
that's what I thought.
An enigma.
I feel like she wouldn't react to it well. I feel like
she hasn't. She clearly hasn't responded to any criticisms well.
Yeah. Even the more gentle ones.
Yeah. I mean, she's gotten some not good criticism and a lot of hate. But
yeah, I feel like I don't have a lot in common with Stephanie Meyer, and that she wouldn't like me as a person.
Yeah. True.
And that I probably wouldn't like her as a person.
Yeah,
either.
I don't want to meet her. Really.
I don't think we share values.
Yeah.
I don't think that we have shared interests beyond this world that she's created, and I think that that's okay.
That's fine.
And I still admire
what
her
she's
and
created.
Am thankful for what she's created, even though there's so many problems with so much of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is this what having like a disappointing parent is like?
Is it?
I like Stephanie Meyer more than I like my dad. I'm much more forgiving and understanding towards her.
Yeah, well, one would hope. Otherwise, I would think that you're projecting. So.
Me? Projecting?
It's more likely than you think.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that she would, like, accept... I don't think she's accepting criticism at this time.
Yeah, no. I don't think that we have any common ground to have a conversation about our criticisms on. I don't think that she would...
I think that she heard some critiques, and then what she heard was just... was what spun into Life and Death, so...
Yeah.
And I don't think Life and Death did very well as a book.
It would be interesting to pull...
I don't know. I'm just, like, guessing. But
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure it did fine, but she's like working on other stuff, and like
film company.
Yeah, and just like did some appearances for the 10th anniversary of Twilight, and was sort of like only asked about Twilight rather than like other stuff. So I think that I don't know. She's in a very unique position.
Yeah,
I can't think of like too many other people who are like have like very similar. Mm-hmm. Experiences to her, so yeah, I wouldn't, if I were her, I probably would be somewhat closed off to like most criticism that I receive, because there's just from all angles.
Yeah, some people think Twilight is too, like the Parks and Rec episode where they try to put it in the time capsule. People are like, Twilight is anti-family values. And some people are like, Twilight is
explicitly
like,
Christian.
Explicitly Christian.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff, it's just like...
It's hard to know at, like, probably after 10 years, just like, what is coming from where, and she probably just shuts it out. And, like, she has the money to shut it out, so, like, she's just, like,
for it.
Being a Mormon in the Midwest, so.
Love it. For her.
Also, you can expect season 2.
One day. Probably, like, late 2019. Yeah. It's a good goal. Well, that's right. You'll be graduated by then.
Yeah, I'll be done in August, so.
Yep.
As soon as we're, like, together again, it's fine.
Yep. On Tumblr, an anonymous person asked, where can I get similar clothes to Bella's style?
It's really easy to dress like Bella.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Sam does it every day.
Bella just wears, like, really normal clothes that you can get anywhere, so like, wear some flannels.
I think that a
solid
good
colors
place to go for I'm specifically thinking about the brown top that she has with the white embroidery, and then she has a white top with
the peasant
blouses, the linen peasant blouses. We found some really good, like, tops at Anthropology that are really similar, and, like, they're not affordable, so, like...
Yeah, you should always shop sustainably if you can, or secondhand, so
Goodwill is a good place.
Goodwill, or, like, even if you want specific stuff, like Poshmark and Depop, you can look up specific things.
Yeah. I wish that Polyvore was still a thing. Did you ever have Polyvore? That was really nice. Yeah, that, and also, like, you can definitely find flare jeans again, which is nice.
Yeah, they're also, like, coming back into style. I just bought really wide jeans at Target for $7 that I haven't showed you yet, and I'm really excited about them.
Yay! Yeah, I feel like
Converse.
Yeah, you can definitely find some Bella stuff around.
Yeah, wear, like, a long sleeve. Yeah, like a long sleeve solid color, like, muted, like, shirt with a flannel over it.
Raincoats.
Parkas.
Those are... You can find, like, good raincoat and parkas that, like, remind me of Bella's at Old Navy, for sure.
And then, like, one nice occasion dress that's blue.
Yes. Yeah. There's a good dress on Amazon that's blue that looks kind of like Bella's dress that she's in when she wakes up as a vampire.
I feel like the last time I went shopping, and I'm not sure if it was here or in England because I've been jet lagged, but I feel like I've been seeing some pretty good, like, blue dresses around at, like stores like H&M, so.
Yeah, we're still on the lookout for a good bowling shirt.
Yeah, if you know of a bowling shirt, let us know, because we want to make merch with bowling shirts.
Yeah, there's some good short sleeve pajama tops at Target right now that kind of look bowling shirt like. They're the wrong material and they're the wrong color, but they're a start.
Yeah. We have a question from Denali's, who's one of our favorite mutuals on Tumblr and
thanks, Alexa.
Instagram also, and, like, listens to the podcast. That's great. Favorite female life and death character. Ooh, we get one.
Okay. Wait, don't say
who's
yours.
Female?
Don't say yours.
I don't know yet.
We'll say it on the count of 3.
Wait, I'm not ready.
I know, I'm not either. But we have to do it together.
Okay.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Still not ready. I can't remember any of them.
So the options are Corrine, Edith,
Jessamine,
Eleanor. And Eleanor.
And, or, like, any of the other humans.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So the options are Corrine, Edith, Jessamine, and Eleanor. And, like, I guess Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela.
Whatever.
Okay, I think I have my answer. Are we doing it on 3?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Corrine.
Edith.
Okay.
Okay.
I almost said Edith.
Okay.
But then I was thinking about Dr. Corrine Cullen and how I really like what's her name? What's the actress's name? Sarah Paulson.
Oh.
As Corrine and then Elizabeth Reeser as Esme. Oh my god, so good.
I picked Edith because I feel like Edith as a character has helped me understand Edward as a character. Like, I feel like getting to know Edith and, like, enjoying Edith has made me look at Edward differently.
Yeah.
And, like,
she's also just markedly different than Edward, which is fun.
Yeah. And she's, like, a little more chill.
Yes.
And I like that.
Yeah, I like it. I've been thinking a lot I thought I haven't thought a lot about this. I haven't been spending oodles of time on this, but since we talked about in the podcast, since we recorded the episode about Kareen, I know I posted on Tumblr afterwards about it, but I was just thinking about how inaccurate her backstory is. I mean, we knew that at the time for various reasons, having to do with the possibility of being a doctor at that time, but also like just the likelihood that she would have been married off by her religious father before she was turned into a vampire, and or like would she even have been turned into a vampire at all, because like would she have been living with him? So that's interesting also. I think there's a lot of potential there. Yeah, I really like the Kareen, like the AU where it's Kareen and Esme. Yeah, I really like that. This is a question that I've come up with that is not one of the questions that people have asked, but if you could pick one of each of the characters, like the main characters, like the Cullens plus Bella Beau, if you could pick one gendered alternative of each of them, like what's your ideal Cullen clan? Okay, yeah. Okay, well definitely Kareen, Esme. Yeah, I agree. And then, oh god. I think I would keep Emmett. Yeah. And Rosalie. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, because in my head for some reason I was thinking that it had to be like one from each universe. Like it had to be like of same-sex couples only. You were like, I think it has to be this way. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's also a possibility. And if I had to pick between that, I would do Eleanor and Rosalie. Eleanor and Rosalie, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would keep Emmett and Rosalie. Also. And then I think I would get rid of Jasper and replace him with Jessamine. I think so too. Keep Alice. I like Archie, but I don't like Archie. I like Archie too. I want Archie and Alice as twins. Yeah, I want them both. You know, and then I would have Bella and Edith. Yeah, I like Bella and Edith. Yeah, if I had to, I mean, like if I was just picking that, I would probably keep Edward and Bella. But for same-sex couples, I think I like Bella and Edith. Although I really do like Edward Beau. Oh yeah, I love Edward Beau. Yeah. Oh god, it's hard. I hate this question. You made it up. Okay. Yeah. I just feel like Esme and Kareen are... That's solid. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so positive about that. Yeah. And then I feel pretty strongly about Emmett and Rosalie. Yeah. And then, yeah, the rest of them I'm just kind of like... Yeah. It kind of depends on, like... For, like, Alice, Jasper, / their alternatives, like... It just really depends on, like, what kind of backstory we're talking about. Yeah, like, that's true. Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you, Alexa. What's next? What do we got? Oh, there's a couple here. Another Anon. It says, few questions, feel free to pick and choose. What are your favorite Twilight headcanons? If you were to revise the series, what are some of the most major changes you would make? What are your favorite ships? And if you were vampires, what would your powers be? Okay. Okay. So, should we just briefly go through... Yeah, I don't have, like, a ton of favorite headcanons. Yeah, I don't either. I don't, like, keep tabs on them. Like, I read them on Tumblr and I'm like, oh, I like that. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have, like, really strong ones. But, I mean, I have, I guess, in regards to the next question about revising the series and making major changes, then I guess if I was going to make headcanons about that, it would have to do with, like, Renesmee and Jacob and, like, literally everything to do with those characters. I would say no love triangle. I would say no Renesmee at all, no wedding. It would change a lot of the stuff to do with sex and sexuality, and like I would do a lot more deep diving into the backstories of people that are not like explored a lot, like Esme and I mean there are like literally endless changes. Yeah. But the biggest ones are definitely Jacob and Renesmee for me. And Breaking Dawn. Yeah. I wouldn't have them get married. Yeah. I just want, like, the college adventures of Edward and Bella. I don't care if they're vampires or not, like, in it. You read, Addiction? It's a Rosella fic. I have not, but I have seen it. Altward? Maybe Altward. I think. Yeah. God, I love it. You do? I love it. I haven't read it. Yeah. And that kind of answers, like, what are some favorite ships. I really like Rosella. Yeah, I like, a lot of the Rosalie ships. And I like all of the ships that have to do with Bella, Rosalie, Leah, and Angela. Like, any combination of those four, I'm, like, pretty into it. But I don't really have any other opinions on ships other than that.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, I'd like to stick to the canon.
Yeah.
Just because.
Anything gay is great.
Yeah.
Obviously, but,
obviously.
Like, I agree with a lot of people that I don't really enjoy ships that involve, like...
The Volturi.
The Volturi. Just, like, especially, like, Jane and Alec and, like, their literal children.
Yeah, their children. I've seen some problematic ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seen some shit in my day.
After deciding to join Tumblr again.
Yeah.
It's like, I have so many regrets.
Yep. If you were vampires, what would your powers be? I would be an empath.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. We've been asked this question a lot before.
Yeah. It's like, it's not that I would want to be an empath, it's that I would be.
You would be. Yeah, I don't know. What am I good at?
Everything.
No. Would I be really strong? No, I'm not that strong. I would just be stubborn like Rosalie.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I feel like I would have something. I just don't know what it is. Maybe mind reading, but I don't know. That's also, like, implies a level of intuition that I don't always have.
Maybe I feel like you'd be like Carlisle. Like...
I don't believe that those are powers. I don't believe that, like...
Okay.
I don't believe that Carlisle's his passion or, like, his kindness is, like, a power.
Well, like, the desire and the need to help people. I guess it's not a power, but...
No. I think it's maybe an emphasized trait.
Yeah.
That maybe vampirism has emphasized, but, like, I don't think it's, like, it counts as a superpower. Sorry, Carlisle. Oh, you know what? I'd probably be a shield.
Yeah. You would. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Sam, I don't like to talk about my feelings.
Yeah, I, like, block everyone out. It's fine. I'm fine.
Thank you for the questions.
Yeah. Okay. This is, like, the last normal one that we have. There's another one on the post.
Yeah.
But
I'll get to that one.
Okay, yeah, you can look that up. This one is from Living Lore. Since y'all are both Team Edward, thank you for remembering. How do you feel about pre-transformation Jacob? Also, how do you feel about the pack lad/lady in general? Specifically about the original Twilight AU pack. Yeah. We've talked about this a bit on the podcast. There's been a lot of Jacob discourse since the podcast has come out. Some of which is, like, great, and some of which I am so exhausted by.
Yeah. It's like...
I don't know. I feel like I have some spicy takes about Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so tired thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just, like, Jacob was never my favorite character.
Yeah. I think the only valid thing that I think has come out of that Tumblr discourse for me is, like, discourse about race, which is great.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's great. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yep. There's, like, race, like, Stephanie Meyer wrote, like, a lot of racist tropes about the Quileutes in general, and, like, that's...
Yeah. And then there were
valid.
fandom, like, people in the fandom that disliked Jacob that were replicating a lot of really awful racist and, like...
Yeah.
Colonial...
Yeah.
ideals.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
We're, like, both trying not to say too much right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like...
I don't want to alienate our fan base, but...
Also, it's like, I don't like Jacob. I don't. I don't think... I am not of the mind that some people are, which is that pre-transformation Jacob is, like, super different from post-transformation Jacob. I don't think that they are that different. I think that we just don't know him that much before.
Yeah.
And then shit happens and things get ugly.
Yeah.
I'm not super, like, thrilled one way or the other about pre-transformation Jacob.
Yeah. I like Julie better.
I like so many of the other characters better. I think it's great on Tumblr when people, like, come up with headcanons and, like, kind of rewrite things and, like, accept characters as different from, like, what the canon is.
Yeah,
in
I
order
like
to,
that
like,
for Jacob.
Yeah, I think that's cool, but, like, for the sake of the podcast and, like, like talking about Jacob, I think it makes more sense like to just talk about canon Jacob.
Yeah, and I don't love canon Jacob.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I think the character would be a lot better if it wasn't a love triangle thing.
Yeah, I hate that. And like the whole imprinting thing is bullshit.
And then, but once you take out those things, it's like, what is even his purpose in the story?
Yeah, like that's
other than like being a friend sometimes.
Yeah, that's his plot function.
Is to like, it's just really convoluted. I mean, we're Team Edward, but we're not like Edward is perfect,
right?
Like,
no,
so
Edward is far from perfect.
Yeah. So
yeah, let's have that on that.
Yeah, that's that. Spicy. All right. You have the other one.
The questions on the post that someone reblogged. URL Schneebly. The first question is: Would y'all ever consider doing a commentary episode that we could listen along to the Twilight movies with?
Yes, absolutely is the answer.
The answer is yes. I want to say that the Twilight podcast that I listened to when I was a child, Hails with the Cullens, Erica and Rebecca, if you're out there, please email us at bowlingshirtbellas.tumblr
at gmail.com.
At bowlingshirtbellas@gmail.com. I listened to your podcast when I was a kid and I loved it. Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
But they did that when Twilight came out in the theaters and I loved it.
Yeah, I would love to do that. When we watch Twilight, we like don't shut the fuck up. So
yeah, we just keep like saying things, and like sometimes they're just saying the dialogue because we've watched it so many times. I think I watched it like 12 times this year.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, about once a month.
Yeah, we have a lot to say. Sometimes we'll watch it like with our friends, and then we like don't shut up, and they haven't seen it for a long time, and they actually want to like watch it, and we like don't let them.
Yeah.
So it would be a good like healthy avenue for that.
Yeah. There's one other question from the post.
Oh, okay.
And it's, were you ever into any other YA book series or franchises as much as Twilight? Especially at that age, they have similar themes to Twilight, and were they as popular with young girls? Essentially, can you discuss this phenomenon of franchises that are primarily linked to teen girls, and why you think they're different than or similar to Twilight? So that's a lot of questions.
Yes.
The first one is, were you ever into any other young adult book series or franchises as much as Twilight?
Just Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was really into Harry Potter.
But that was before Twilight, and then also like now.
Yeah. I got really into Maximum Ride, which is about,
I don't know what that is.
Like, I don't even think they're angels. I just think they have wings.
Yeah.
Children that are... It's by James Patterson. It's a series about children that have wings. They were, like, I think they were, like, test tube children that were given wings.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I got really into that when I was in middle school, around the exact same time as I was interested in Twilight.
Mm-hmm. I really liked Series of Unfortunate Events.
Me too.
I was not really into anything as much as I was into Twilight and Harry Potter, but like with the lasting effects of both of those things.
Yeah.
But there were book series that I really liked while I was reading them, and like had like short little phases for like Hunger Games and
yeah. I never really enjoyed the Hunger Games.
You didn't? No, they're intense. There was a series about werewolves, Shiver.
Oh,
the
God.
Shiver series.
I loved those so much.
Yeah.
I saw one at the bookstore the other day, and I was like, wow.
I don't think I finished. I think
I did.
There's like how many books? 3. I think I know I read the first 2. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the last one.
Shiver, Linger, and Forever.
I don't remember if I read Forever.
I really liked those.
Hush Hush?
Didn't read Hush Hush.
That's about angels.
Oh, cool.
And it's like a broody, like kind of like bad boy, like like love interest sort of story that I liked at the time. Like that wasn't like a long phase or anything.
I'm kind of into Discovery of Witches right now, which was recommended to me by one of our professors, Jenny, and I've been taking a really long time to read it, but it just took me a long time to get into, and but I've been reading it like over the past few days, actually a lot, and I'm really in it now.
Yeah.
I'm really in it now, but it's good. It's good.
That's awesome.
But I think Twilight has kind of ruined me.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that are very similar, and I don't think that that's like Deborah Harkness copying or anything like that, but there's so many things that are like so freaking similar to like Edward, and like
it's almost cliche at this point.
Yeah, that I'm just like,
it's
oh
tired.
my god,
Yeah.
like tell her one more time that you're dangerous, and then try to like act out to alienate her. Like,
yeah.
I've seen the moon.
I've seen
like,
the moon.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it.
When I was like 19 or so, I read the Divergent series, and I really liked it.
I also didn't like Divergent.
I don't care for it anymore. The movies are really bad.
Yeah, I've heard that. I have a hard time reading books that I don't like the characters of. I've had this experience with, like,
So you didn't like Katniss?
I didn't like Katniss. I didn't like Peeta. I didn't like Gale.
I
liked Buttercup, the cat. That's it.
I didn't like Peeta or Gale. I liked Katniss.
Yeah.
And I didn't, in Divergent, I liked Trish. Is it Trix? Beatrix?
I read one page.
Okay, well, how do you know if you didn't like it?
I didn't like it. I'll give it another shot because I feel like people are gonna come for me now.
No, it's not that important.
Yeah.
I really liked the main character of that book because I was like, she's so tough, and like, I want to be as tough as her. She was,
I've
like,
never wanted to be tough, so maybe that's it.
Okay, yeah, she was like having to do a lot of like physical fighting, and I was like really into that. Like, I read about women or like I watch shows like in Sense8, like Sun.
Oh yeah.
Does like a lot of fighting. I'm like, I really want to learn how to fight.
Love that.
So like that's me, a fire sign.
Yeah. So that's, yeah. If I don't like the main characters or like any like major characters, then I have a really hard time finishing books, which is what happened with Divergent, what happened with Hunger Games, and what happened with Catcher in the Rye.
Yes, we were just talking about Catcher and Great Gatsby. I fucking hate everyone in the Great Gatsby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not the same genre.
Yeah, no.
What was that second part of that question?
Could you discuss this phenomenon of franchises that are primarily linked to teen girls and why you think they're different than or similar to Twilight? I think
Twilight really influenced a lot of YA fiction of the time and influenced a lot of the books that I wanted to read afterwards.
Yeah.
Like fantasy romances meant for teenagers.
Yeah.
Was a lot of what I read. I was reading a lot of stuff like that, and I was also we were both reading a lot of like other like really depressing YA fiction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We probably shouldn't have read.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Like 13 Reasons Why and its other like suicide friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
Like abuse and like depression and mental hospitals and like there's
eating disorders and
self-harm. There's like
books.
a lot. Yeah. We read a lot of those.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that did those do good things for me?
No.
I
don't think Twilight did good things for me at the time that I read it.
No.
I really liked it, but it didn't really do much for me other than like really liking it.
I think that there's a false dichotomy between Twilight and Harry Potter.
Yeah. It's true.
That was difficult for me to grapple with as a child that liked both.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of performative Twilight bashing, I guess.
We've all done it.
Yeah, and it's just like stupid now, and like I hate that I did that, but I don't know. I think it's interesting that I think that like I feel really strongly that Harry Potter taught me a lot of different like lessons.
Yeah. Sure.
Twilight, I don't know. But I think that that's what kind of makes Harry Potter more of a that, and the fact that it's Harry Potter, like Harry Potter, main character, it's like it's like always more gender neutral.
Yeah. Also, it's like Harry Potter is a children's book.
Yeah, that's
more than like a teen book.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. What was the other part of that question?
Oh, if the books that we liked had similar themes to Twilight, and I
just
think
fantasy in general.
Fantasy and romance and
I mean I've always preferred books that have like when I was a teenager I preferred books that had like teenage girls at the forefront of fantasy books, especially.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked romance novels, and I liked supernatural beings in general. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're into the section of our Q&A where last night Sam and I drank some wine.
Oh my god.
And she decided she would do another call for questions.
Yeah, I posted a picture of us with this wine, and then Lori reblogged it again.
And I said, here's what I said, because I want to be clear about what I asked for.
Yes.
I said, ask us personal, cringy, awful questions, y'all. I meant
emphasis on the personal.
Personal as in, like, about us.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess I brought this on us.
Well, I don't think so, because I don't think anything could warrant this next question from an anonymous, which is, what's Carlisle's dick with? What's wrong with you guys?
It's probably...
Don't answer. I don't want to know!
Well, I was about to say something really scientific and smart, but I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. We don't have to know how long does Warno last. Thanks,
we don't need to know that either.
I'm so upset.
We don't need to know if Alice has ever accidentally crushed a bitch's head with her thighs when they were giving her that good lick.
TM. This is not... This, like, Lori was gonna get mad because she wants us to have to answer questions about our personal lives so that we can become internet stars, but, y'all just have your minds.
That's not why. I want people to ask us personal questions because Sam hates talking about herself, and I love when Sam
I'll do
has
it
to
for
talk.
the gram. If I'm gonna make money off of this, I will
so Gabby Dunn.
put it all out there. I have no secrets anymore if there's money in my hand.
Who knew all along? All I had to do to get Sam to talk was pay her.
It's true. We had 2 people
ask us to do a fuck, marry, kill with the Volturi.
And it's like, no.
Arrochias and Marcus.
I would kill all of them.
I don't know. I know people love the Volturi, and that's great, but I don't like them.
I don't like them because they're vampire cops.
Yeah.
It's, like, not more complicated than that. They're the imperialist vampire cops.
I don't like the oligarchy that they have going on. I don't like the plutocracy.
Yeah, it's a bad system. It's bad.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like, of course, we all want to think that we're Rosalie, but I feel like if I were a character in Twilight, I would be one of the Romanian vampires that's, like, just plotting for revolution. Mm-hmm. But, anyway. Mm-hmm. Which character has the biggest dick? Because it's not Jasper!
Bella.
Yeah, Bella.
Just give that one. What would you say to Catherine Hardwicke if you met her?
I would actually want to have, like, a really long conversation with Catherine Hardwicke.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say to her.
I would say thank you.
I would say thank you, I love you.
I would just want to say, I just feel... all that stuff that's been going around about, like, how shitty she was treated in Hollywood, even after having
so
this
wild.
incredibly successful
that's crazy.
movie and starting this incredible franchise, like, that shit hurts.
I would want to ask her to co-author journal articles about Twilight.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her. I want to go on vacation with her.
Yes.
To Forks.
To Isle Esme.
Alright. Next awful question.
that one was fine.
That
this
was
one
great.
is back to awful now.
Intrusive question time.
Which is like, this isn't intrusive. This is just, like okay.
Do you think Edward and Bella ever beat their meat because the electricity got to be too much, or were they too embarrassed?
This is just a question asking if we think Bella and Edward ever masturbated, and the answer is, like, canonically no.
Canonically no, but Bella did.
She should have.
She should have.
But Edward didn't.
It never crossed his mind.
Because, like, the discourse around vampire pregnancy and stuff. I don't know.
Whatever.
Like, stop.
The last question is, it's so cool you two are friends and love Twilight.
It is.
It is.
Correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Thank you.
Yes, you're right and you should say it.
Yeah. That's all of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe. Can you believe? It's like probably one person went into the Ask Box and just said all of those things.
Yep.
And
They
like,
sure did.
Stop. Every godforsaken day that I open up Tumblr.com on my phone, I have to see something about Esme pegging Carlisle. And you know what? It was funny the first time, and now it's just like, you guys are really actually into it, and like, I'm not kink shaming you, but actually, I am kink shaming you. Like, that's so much time spent on this one thing.
It's like, I always look at people like, Isle Esme and...
Yes.
Whatever, that, I love. And they always have the nastiest shit sent to them in their Ask Box.
It's so funny and awful.
They handle it with such, like, patience and grace, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, can't relate.
But here we are.
Here we are.
It happened to us.
Yeah.
It could happen to you.
It happened to us, the Twilight fandom story. An expose on the Twilight fandom.
Yeah. So
oh my god. It's like nothing has changed because like people were thinking about Edward's dick for like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like nothing has changed. Here we are, full circle.
Full circle.
Still, Freud would love this.
Freud? Oh.
Phallocentrism?
Oh. I would think, okay, if you could have any philosopher or theorist on our show, dead or alive, who would you have?
Any philosopher or theorist. I thought you were going to ask to do fuck, marry, kill with like Freud and stuff.
Freud, Michel Foucault, and Derrida. Deleuze and Guattari in one. You have to fuck, marry, and kill them at the same time.
Yeah. What was your question?
If you could have any theorist or philosopher on gender forking,
okay,
who would you have? Dead or alive?
Stephen Whittle. I don't know.
That's a good one.
Julia Serrano.
Oh yeah. I would kind of like to get Z Nicolazzo up in here.
Yeah, as a grad student who just took a semester of theory, and like as a person who does love theory, sometimes it's just all bullshit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just know what you know, and that's fine.
I'd kind of like to get Judith Butler
yeah,
up in here, just because,
and
like...
her wife, Wendy Brown.
Yeah. Just because, like...
For no real reason
other than
just do it.
Sitting in a room with her.
I need to, like, get on the bandwagon of Twilight and academia, but also off the academia bandwagon.
Yeah,
so
forever.
Whatever. Yep. So that's why you should support this podcast and tell your friends and
do you want us to drop out of grad school?
Yeah.
Send us
money.
We're gonna hopefully be monetized soon.
Yeah, I'll put some ads in this.
Yeah.
If there's new intro music, then that's because it's from my brother Gabe, who's a SoundCloud artist under the name O Lucifer. He's really talented.
He just played, I think, his first live show in the Portland, Maine area.
Yeah.
And
really exciting.
He's sleeping upstairs.
Yeah, he's only 18. He's already doing really cool stuff. Like,
we love Gabe.
These beats. So check him out on SoundCloud, Instagram,
Spotify.
Also, yeah. Also, I mean, if you're listening to this, then you already are listening on a podcast platform. But as of today that we're recording it, Gender Forking is now available on Stitcher and Google Play Music, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Also, I think it's going to be available on AnyPod really soon, which just means that if you have like an Amazon Echo or like an Amazon Alexa, whatever they're called, then you can ask it to play our podcast on AnyPod, and it will just start playing.
So you can say, Alexa, please play
Gender Forking on
AnyPod, and then they'll start playing it. So that's really cool.
Super fun.
You should do that and send us videos of it happening.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think my parents have one upstairs that we can...
You're right.
We can do that also ourselves.
You're right.
Constantly.
Yeah, and if you ever want to talk to us about any of the stuff that came up during this episode, or if you have any, like, other questions, feel free to always
go to our Tumblr. Yep.
Stay tuned for more bonus content. We look forward to recording that soon.
We won't tell you what it is yet, but
yeah, it's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, personally, like
we're gonna have someone supervise us while we do it because it's gonna be that good.
Yeah, it's gonna be that necessary.
It's gonna be that necessary that we're supervised during this activity.
Let us know what you think it's gonna be.
Yeah. So
great.
Until next time, that's all, forks. Thank you for listening to Gender Forking. All of Season 1 is now streaming.
To stay updated about the podcast or to contact us, follow us on Twitter at @genderforking or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/genderforking.
For more Twilight content from us, you can follow our blog at bowlingshirtbellas.tumblr.com. For other inquiries, email us at bowlingshirtbellas@gmail.com.
The music you are hearing is from O Lucifer.
156.